Hi guys, Coach Carter here. So new video. This one will be pretty detailed. We did a video earlier about speed and conditioning drills. So we talked about hills, we talked about bands, we talked about track workouts. Now, really, we probably should have made this video first. This is talking about the actual tech work, tech speed, tech agility drills we do to get the form right before we actually get our kids running at a high rate. So obviously, some of this is pretty detailed. I am not a sprinting track coach, right? They would do way more intense drills than what I'm going to present to you today. But in terms of athletic PE or your general athletic team, these are some quick, easy drills that you can use with them to get them faster and more agile in hopes of getting them more successful for their sport. So why speed and agility training? Tech training, we want to improve their running agility form. So again, if form is better and when we get it to a point where they're not thinking about it, then they're going to be moving faster on the field in a more athletic way. We want to improve their coordination and injury prevention as well, right? We teach our kids how to change directions at a slow pace, well, they're going to have more muscle and more coordination behind them when they do it at a fast clip, which is going to hopefully lead to a lower incidence of injury. I remember when Pat Summitt was coaching basketball at Tennessee, she was really groundbreaking in the work she was doing with females and their ACL prevention strategies. They were doing depth jumps and doing plyometrics, I think, way before other women athletic teams were getting on board with that. And obviously they stayed healthier. So I think that's always a goal as a strength. Any coach in general is to keep your athletes healthy. So I got a lot of drills, so I'm going to get right into it. So the first set of drills are linear speed drills. Okay, so we're talking about straight line speed, working on just that if you want to think about like a track, as fast as you can run, right? And there's a lot of detail here that you can get into. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet so I can get through these at a good time. So the first one we're going to talk about is track arms, right? So again, in a perfect world, I'm locking my L's, I'm rotating my thumb to my chin to my hip pocket, right? Nice and controlled. Again, what you'll see a lot of is this from your kids, right? And again, when I rotate my arm, it's going to help my knees get higher, which is going to help me run faster. So this is going to be obviously need to be taught pretty explicitly. The first drill we do with all our kids is we just have them stand and move their arms without moving their feet. I've also seen this done on your butt. To me, it's just easier to have them stand and do it without their feet. So again, the big cues for this are locking your L's and rotating at the shoulder. So again, you want the thumb to hit the hip pocket and then go back up to the shoulder or the chin, right? You don't want to see anything like this. You don't want to see the extension. You want to keep it nice and tight, nice and locked. So you're going to have to constantly go over this, especially with your younger athletes. This is something that's going to take some time for them to nail down. One of the big cues I'll say is I want them to, imagine you're kicking someone with your elbow behind your back, right? You want to get that elbow nice and hot. That's kind of the goal of the track arm drill. So once the arms look good, we'll move into something we call an A march. So this is, again, another pretty slow drill. The idea behind this is teaching the kids that when their arm goes back, okay, that leg goes up, and then it switches. So leg up, arm back, and alternate. Okay, what you'll see a lot of with young kids is they'll be doing this: arm up, leg up, leg up, and obviously that's not how we're going to run officially. And then again, a good demonstration I'll do with them is I'll just walk. And when you walk, right, naturally your arm is going to swing back when your leg goes forward. So this drill just teaches them that when your arm goes up, your leg goes down and vice versa. Okay, so if I were to pause it, right, my right leg is up, my right arm is back, and then I'm alternating. So shocking. Again, when I started doing these drills, I couldn't believe how many kids did the opposite of this. Put leg up, arm up. And ironically enough, these are your kids that are really struggling with speed and coordination. They can't run very fast because they don't know how to properly move their arms and legs. So when you slow this down, you get a much better idea of who's going to be able to run fast on your team. And once they get these drills at an adequate clip, they're going to obviously improve their coordination and speed. So they're just going up and down, nice and controlled, arm up, leg down, and then vice versa. Pretty easy, pretty controlled. And again, with what almost the theme with all the videos that we put out is the drills start low intensity, easy to complete, and they gradually get more difficult. It's like in the classroom when you're scaffolding, right? You're going to start with chapter 1 in the math book and then work your way into the back of the book. You're not going to start on chapter 25 because you're going to have a bunch of kids not knowing what's going on. Okay, so now we're going to gradually intense the intensity. So now I call this 75% arms. So we're going to have the kids bounce now with their arms moving. And in the video, I could probably get my knees a little higher, but the idea is the kids are learning how to bounce and moving their arms at the same time, right? So I just call it 75%, moving the arms, moving the feet. Again, the focus is that when the knee is up, the arm is back. And that's hopefully going to be ironed out by doing your A march drill. Okay, going into the next linear speed drill. Now I call this 100% arms. So I'm moving my arms as fast as I can with good form. I'm getting my knees up to my hips, dorsal flexing my toe. I usually do this for about 15 seconds. Again, I'm trying to get just the kids learning what it's like to run as fast as they can with good arms. Now, when you're doing these arm drills, the arms should stay consistent throughout all the intensities, right? We don't want nice fluid arms at 75% and then arms going to crap at 100, right? If you're seeing that, we'll take a step back and slow it down a little bit more. Again, from a lateral view here, knees up, rotating those arms, keeping those feet under my hips. Okay, so we start with high knees in place, and then we'll gradually move to high knees moving forward. So when they are moving forward, you want a little bit of a forward lean so they get on the balls of their feet. Again, so this is just something that I had to learn. So again, this is my foot, this is the heel, right? The ball is that little place right before your toes, and you have obviously your toes, right? So we want to be right in that ball of the foot. That's where the power is going to come from. Okay, so now I'm just doing high knees, moving forward. Again, knees up to the hips. I want to overemphasize that high knee action just to get the kids really focusing on their arms and that forward lean. Okay? Okay, this is probably one of the coolest drills I found over the years. It's called wall march. So again, you want your kids leaning into the wall just as I have demonstrated, and you want their heels off the ground, right? So what they're doing here is they're punching their knees into their chest and working on that forward lean, right? So a lot of kids that aren't running very fast, they'll be kind of sitting in the bucket and they're running, kind of like this, looking straight up and down. If you're going to be a fast runner, you got to get that forward lean, right? So obviously, if you're looking at a track sprinter, they're in the blocks, right? And they're pushing out. You want that same kind of dynamic for your athletes. You want that forward lean. You want them driving forward. Okay, so in this drill, again, getting my knees up, punching my knees in, and I'm automatically getting that forward lean by leaning into the wall. The biggest cue here is that forward lean, and your heels don't touch the ground. So you can see in the video, I'm on the balls of my feet. My heels are not touching the ground. I'm developing that forward lean. This is a real easy one to do with a big group. You say wall march, they all get into the wall, blow the whistle, 30 seconds. They're punching and driving. Okay, I will say just a general speed drill a speed cue that I think is pretty specific for improving speed is that when you guys are teaching your kids how to sprint, they need to have their feet land under hips, right? So when you're sprinting, okay, let me pull up one of these videos real quick. You can go to high knees. Okay, when they're sprinting, okay, they want that foot to land right under their hip, right? That's where the power is going to be at. Bam, bam, okay? You guys are going to see in a second I'm doing A skips and A skips. I don't like to do a lot of B skips with my general sport athletes because you're kind of getting them to pull their leg out, and a lot of kids won't get that leg back under their hip efficiently. So again, for a track sprinter, those are great drills, B skips, C skips, but it's critical that when you guys are watching your kids do these drills that they're getting their foot back under the hip before they bring it back up. That's where the most power is coming from, right? If this is your hip, right, and you have your foot landing in front, okay, you're not going to get as much power and force to the ground, which is going to lead to a less dynamic. You're not going to get as much power, which is going to lead to less speed. So when you're doing these drills, make sure their feet land under their hips. Okay, going into now some skipping drills. Again, this might sound basic. Teach your kids how to sprint. Teach your kids how to skip. A lot of your kids will not know how to skip, especially your freshmen. So our first basic drill we're going to do is just skipping on air, right? Okay, quick hop with the feet and alternate, and we'll do it in place, then we'll do it moving forward. Again, I'm not overemphasizing the hands here just because I want them to focus on skipping with their feet. You have a lot of kids that just physically have never skipped before. Once the skipping is taken care of, then we'll move into ace skips, okay? This is a drill once they learn how to do, we do every day just to get that coordination and that bounce. So again, we're just skipping and rotating our arms at a good clip. Skipping, rotating our arms at a good clip. Again, you can see the goal is to get that foot right back under the hip every time, okay? Especially when we're doing it in place. Bam. Again, if I were to pause this at any moment, you can see that foot is getting right back under the hip. Not in front, not behind, right under, so I get a powerful punch back from the ground. And again, if I were to show the whole video for ace skips, again, nice fluid motion, working on coordination, working on that arm and foot motion. And again, guys, I know if you're a sprinting coach, you're like, what the hell? There's not a good cycle of your foot, and he's maybe. I'm not going to get into sprint track detail here. I have coached track, but this is more general athletic, right? We want to focus on good arms. We want to focus on dorsiflexing that toe. We want to focus on getting that foot under the hip. The detail, again, I think you can bog down your kids by giving them too much detail, right? We're not developing track sprinters here. We're developing just general athleticism. So I hope we're all on the same page there. Okay, the last thing after we develop ace skips, we would do some bounding. Again, this is just getting a little more ballistic. One thing I like about this drill is that they have to really focus on their arms at the top, right? So I want that knee through the hip. I want that toe dorsal flex. I can get my toe a little more dorsal flex. And I want them holding their hand motion until they come back down. So the biggest thing I like about this drill is it's working on explosiveness, but they're also overemphasizing that hold, right? So knee up, arm back, and then alternating every bound. So again, you can do it in place, and then you can do it running forward or backwards. So again, my cue is hold it at the top, hold that arm, hold that knee for a quick 1 count at the top. Okay, so that's pretty much all the vast majority of linear speed drills we'll do. Again, we're starting with the very beginning, focusing on the arms, chin down, eyes forward, and then we're slowly going into more intense drills. Okay, now if we're going into agility or COD, change of direction drills. Okay, so again, starting from a very basic position. I got to give credit. I got these drills from Gary Schofield, who was a big strength coach back, I believe, in Georgia at the time. He calls these angles and edges, and I think they're great. So essentially what you're doing, there's 3 drills. All you're teaching your kids to do is how to shift their hips, shift their body weight, right? So for all these drills, they should keep a big chest, and they should keep their eyes up, and they should feel the shift from one side of their body to the other. Okay, again, if I were to told my kids, I want you to sprint and break, right? Well, that's what they're doing. They're feeling the shift from one side of their body to the other. But when we take a step back and slow it down, it's going to make those kids really feel those positions. So the very basic drill is just reaching and stepping. Reaching and touching. Okay, so they're opposite hand, opposite toe. The biggest cue, and especially at the beginning, is big chest, eyes up. What a lot of kids will do is they'll just swing their torso. That's not the purpose of these drills. The purpose is to feel the shift of the weight by moving their hips. Okay, so again, you can see my hip, when I move to the left, it's blocking that little box right there. But then when I shift to the right, okay, it's completely on the other side. So that's what I want to see from the kids, is the hips moving. And again, let me just play it so you guys get an idea of it. These are drills that we'll definitely do at the beginning of the off season, just to especially for the young bucks, teach them how to move their body and shift their weight. Okay, the second variation to this is now we're going to add a step. Okay, so it's step, come together. Step, come together. Step, come together. Make sure you're telling the kids to come together, or else they'll get off kilter. So it's again, same emphasis on shifting, but now I'm just adding a step. I'm adding a little bit more of a dynamic movement to it. Again, I really found these drills effective for my change of direction work. Okay, this is a little bigger video, but now all I'm doing is doing a little bit of a shuffle in between. This will be the third angle and edge drill. So now I'm stepping, touching, shuffling. Stepping, touching, shuffling. Stepping, touching, shuffling. And again, it's the same idea of the shifting, but now I'm adding a little bit more of a dynamic movement to it. So we would usually do all 3 of those drills right after the other, and the kids will feel the burn in their legs, but again, the main goal of this is to teach them how to shift their body weight. Okay, now moving into changing direction, but we're going to focus quickly on the hands, right? So anytime I'm changing directions, okay, I was a receiver when I was playing football in college and high school level. I have to bang the drum, right, to get ready to move my feet. And I tell the kids this, the hands move the feet, right? So this is a completely different arm movement, right? For linear running, again, I'm nice and tight. I got my elbows rotating backwards. For agility, changing directions, I'm not moving at the shoulder. I'm just moving my wrist up and down. And the cue I'll tell them is bang the drum, okay? That's like you're banging the drum set. So we'll do a quick drill. I got all my kids, no feet, just hands. Just hands, banging the drum, right? And again, I'm preparing my feet to move quickly. I'm not moving now linearly. I'm moving laterally, getting ready to change directions. And again, obviously if you have a ball in your hand or you got a lacrosse stick, it's going to be a little different. But when you're getting ready to shift, right, the idea is you're moving those hands quickly and efficiently, okay? So then going into quick feet. So again, for these drills, it's about how many steps can I get in the time frame. And it's all about quick hands, quick feet, right? So feet are low to the ground. I'm off my heels. I'm moving my hands quick, moving my feet quick. And again, we will do it statically, and then we'll do it moving forward in both directions. So again, how fast can I move my feet? How fast can I move my hands? This is going to help with speed, because the faster your kids learn how to get their feet off the ground, the faster they'll be. They'll have quicker rotation, quicker step count. But in terms of changing directions, they're going to have to get ready to move their feet efficiently, okay? So then we can go into some more dynamic movement. So you guys can go as crazy as you want with this. For me, these are the quality movement patterns I teach, I focus on. But again, am I probably missing a few? Yeah, but moving into, I'm sorry. When we're talking about quick feet still, you can adjust this as much as you want. You can do quick feet to a sprint, okay? Quick feet forward and then have them accelerate out, okay? You could also have them sprint forward, and then once they get to a certain point on the field, you can have them control their body and then do quick feet to finish, right? So you can really, you can do both. Again, the idea is teaching them how to control their body, slow down and change directions, right? Because the faster they could decelerate and then change directions, right? They're gonna the more athleticism they're gonna gain. They're gonna be hopefully faster than their opponent, right? That's what a juke is: being able to stop and start faster than your opponent. If we're talking about like a lacrosse move or a soccer move or a football move. Okay, the next dynamic movement we're gonna talk about is a shuffle. So again, there's really 3 types of shuffles we'll teach. The first one is I just call it a shuffle. You can think of a basketball shuffle. Again, the main cue is not crossing over, keeping your feet under your hips, right? So I'm in an athletic position. Again, for us, we call an athletic position. Again, I'm on the balls of my feet. I'm creasing my hips, hands in my holsters, right? Hands are up, and I'm getting ready to change direction. So this would be just a general shuffle or basketball shuffle, if you will. The biggest thing is we don't want the kids to cross over. Again, most kids can do this. The biggest issue you'll see is the kids are too tall. Tell them to get in that athletic position. Okay, the second shuffle we'll work on is a power shuffle. Okay, this is a little more dynamic. With the power shuffle, we want them to push off that outside foot with force, right? Force through the ground, okay? FFG or FTG. So if I'm moving to my right, okay, I want to have my left foot putting the force in the ground. If I'm moving to my left, I want my right foot to be the forceful foot. And again, if I'm thinking of a running back making a break or a cut in a hole, he's going to have to stick force in the ground to make him move powerfully in the opposite direction. So that's kind of the idea behind doing this. Again, if you can listen, you'll hear one foot really plug in the ground. Okay, and again, that's the idea is if I'm moving to my right, it's my left foot in the video that's plugging the ground. If I'm moving to my left, my right foot's plugging the ground. And again, it's just getting the kids in the habit of putting force and changing directions. Now again, you can do this at an angle. You can go up at an angle, left, right at a 45-degree angle. It's the same idea as that. The force is being drawn from your outside foot in relation to the direction you want to go. Okay, with the shuffle, we can finish with a quick shuffle. Okay, let me. So it's called frequency shuffle, but I like to call it just quick shuffle. So again, now I'm just thinking about how many steps can I get in. Again, banging the drum laterally, hands and feet working together. Okay, So what's great about these drills is you can put them in any combination you want to get your kids thinking and moving efficiently. So as I said here, you can do a regular shuffle to a power shuffle. You can do a power shuffle to a quick shuffle. You can do a quick shuffle to a power shuffle. Again, here's a couple videos. Here's one. I'm doing a power shuffle, and then I'm going to a quick shuffle. So power, power to quick. Back to power, right? So you can mix it up. And in reality, again, athleticism, especially open chain sports, right? We're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff. It has to be subconsciously. I have to just react and do this stuff. And the more I train my body to function in these different positions, the more seamlessly I'm going to become that athlete I want to be on the field, and the athletes you want to coach, because they're going to be dominating, hopefully. So again, you guys can mix these up how you want, but if you're going to get them moving in different directions, you're going to want to mix it up as much as you can. Okay, the last movement we're going to focus on is backpedaling. So again, when I'm backpedaling, okay, I want to stay on the balls of my feet. A little different for my hands here. I want my hands to go through my hips. Again, moving backwards is not something that comes naturally. We're always moving forward for the most part. So this is, again, something that the kids are going to have to think about as they are doing it, which, again, when they're thinking and learning how to move their body at practice, we hope it starts to become natural for them on the field. So again, if I'm talking about a back pedal, okay, nice and controlled. I'm sprinting at the end of this one, but again, feet under hips, hands through hips, nice and controlled. Stay on the balls of my feet. You don't want to go to your heels, because then you're not going to have any power out of your brake. Okay, so we got a regular pedal, and then we could do a quick back pedal. So again, now I'm moving my feet and my hands as fast as I can backwards. Feet and hands as fast as I can backwards. So again, a lot of variations you can do here. Again, you can do a back pedal to a sprint forward. You can do a back pedal to a sprint to a 90-degree cut or 45-degree cut. You can do a back pedal to an open. You can do a quick pedal to a back pedal. So again, the variations are really dozens and dozens. As a strength coach or as a coach trying to get your kids more agile, I would really vary it up. As long as the kids have practiced the individual movements successfully, there's no problem with bundling these up together and making them, moving in all these different directions. Okay, so quickly, we already talked about actual conditioning type of drills. Two other things that I just think are great for developing, speed and agility. Jump ropes, again, it's not nothing, too crazy here, but if you think about what's happening when you're jumping, right? You're teaching your feet to get off the ground at a quick clip, right? So I'm not sitting for a second, I'm going to get my feet right back up. And again, you can do as many drills as you want. You can do 1 foot, you can do 2 foot, you can alternate. Again, kind of like you're running. The idea is, though, you're teaching your body how to get those feet up really, really quickly. And I think, jump ropes, very simple, but to me, extremely effective. Another really, really effective drill you should be doing with your kids is speed ladders. Again, I'm not going to get into all the different drills you can do. There's dozens of them. But when you're thinking about, okay, your body can be shifting back and forth. You can be moving your feet and your hands quickly together. The word I put in the Word doc here is proprioception, right? With speed ladders, you're going to be telling your kid a drill, and then he's going to have to try to think about that drill and make his feet do it. So when you do harder drills like Icky Shuffle or Hopscotch or 1 foot in, 1 foot out, they're thinking about it, and then they're actually going to do it or try to do it on the ladder. And that, again, is improving coordination, improving skill. So that's what I really like about speed ladders is it's making them think and do at the same time, which is going to be helping them to actually improve their athleticism. So quickly, how I program all this stuff. So I would say the bulk of the drills you saw are done at the very beginning of the off season, and for football, at the very beginning of the summer, right? I don't want them learning how to run a week before the season starts. I need them doing that in the off season. Okay, so normally I would have a whole week of just linear speed work. So all the drills at the top here, we would do over a week-long session. And then all the agility drills that you saw in the second clip, we would all do for a second week, right? So just really day 1, week 1, week 2, teaching the kids how to move their bodies. Now, there are some core concepts of these drills that we'll do throughout the year, right? So I like doing wall march and those hand and feet drills at different points throughout the year, right? So we can rehash some of our core concepts. We'll also get new kids at different points of the year that I want to introduce them to these drills. You know, the skips, the quick feet drills we'll do periodically. I like doing the jump ropes and speed ladders year round. So there's a lot of these drills that you can incorporate for, you know, if I just wanted to get some arm work done, I could do this as a warm-up for 5 minutes any point of the year, right? So I try to color code these based on kind of our groups of drills that we'll do throughout different points of the year. But again, a lot of these can be done as a warm-up. We do A skips, we do some of our bounding drills every day. Again, that's your job as the coach, is to pick and choose what drills you think your kids need the most work on, right? If you have a really raw group, well, they might need to spend a whole week or two on just the linear and agility drills. But if you got more of an advanced group, hey, they just need to brush up on some stuff, you could do this as a warm-up and, you know, just making sure that they haven't forgotten these core fundamental movements. So I know that was a lot, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me here, but again, I think if we're really trying to get our kids faster and moving at a more efficient way, I think this is an easy way to get it done. Again, there's a lot to look at here, but I think if you scaffold these to your kids, you're going to see a lot of benefits. So thanks for watching.